Savvy investing is best left to the experts. And when it comes to offshore investing, it's even more important to talk to an expert. Well, Earl Don from Forexpert is the guy you should be talking to for your offshore investments. We're at the launch of a new brand in South Africa. Another one coming from China, let's be honest, called LDV. Leo Koch, friend of mine, friend of the channel, representing LDV today?
Yes, indeed.
Leo, I've got to tell you something. At my age, LDV actually stands for Light Delivery Vehicle, which used to be what Bakkies were called before they were called Bakkies.
Which is interesting then that the first car to be launched is a Bakkie.
Correct, yeah.
The LDV comes from the name Leyland DAF. When they merged in the 80s, they decided to shorten it to Leyland, well, it was Leyland DAF, and then they called it LDV, Leyland DAF Vehicles.
Right.
And in the late 90s, it was then purchased by CHANGECARS of China.
Okay, so that's where we get the whole connection. Now, the first vehicle, the first range they're launching in South Africa, the T60s.
Yes.
Okay, tell me a bit about them.
A number of models. There's 3 specification levels, and you can actually tell them from the outside. You'll see in a sec the difference in look and feel of the different cars. This is the top specification model, the T60 Max, and the Max you get in 2 versions, the Max Pro and the Max Lux. The Max Lux is this one. You can see it on the trim outside, the larger wheels, black trim, etc. Both Lux models, or both Max models rather, have 160 kilowatt, 500 Newton meter bi-turbo diesel engine in it.
Yeah.
And then moving down the specification level, you move to a single turbo diesel engine, and that's got 120 kilowatts and 375 newtons.
Right.
And all of them are double cab.
And all double cab, 8-speed auto?
8-speed ZF.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, let's bring the camera in. Let's take a look at the interior here. Now this is the top spec one, right?
Top specification model.
Okay.
So you'll see that it's got basically everything you might need in a Bakkie. It's got electric adjustable seats both sides, both passenger and driver. 8-speed gearbox, as I mentioned. It's got quite a number of ADAS systems in it, like adaptive cruise control, lane keep assist, lane change warning. It's got paddle shifts. You've got automatic lights, automatic wipers.
Also, you mentioned earlier, and I think we must touch on, is the terrain response and the whole off-road ability of this vehicle, because it's quite surprising what off-road spec it offers.
In the pickups, you don't have the terrain response. That will be in the D90, which we'll have a look at now.
Okay.
That D90 will be launched in South Africa on the market in October.
Right, we're going to look at that after this.
But the T60s, especially the Max models, are come standard with 4-wheel drive, and then you can select within the cabin between 2 high and 4 high while driving up to 80 km an hour.
Right.
And then you can switch over to 4 low, and you have a diff lock as well.
Okay. Full leather trim, obviously, on the top model. Space in the back seat, not bad at all. And that seat's set pretty far back. I can tell you it would be way too far back for me to drive, for example.
It's a nice and large pickup.
Yeah.
And then it comes standard with a number of features, like you'll see it's got a standard roller shutter door if you buy one. There's also rubberizing depending on the specification you choose. And then of course all the other specifications that you used to, like tow bars, roof rails, etc., that can be ordered. Yeah.
All accessories available for the range. Okay. Payload?
Payload, I stand to be corrected. It's around 800 kilograms, but I stand to be corrected.
But in that range. So it's pretty much
it's
where
it can work. For sure.
Everyone else is in the same category, right?
Yeah.
What about service maintenance plans, warranties?
It comes with a 5-year service plan and a 5-year 200,000 kilometer warranty and roadside assistance plan.
Right, so it's a good, solid
yes.
warranty. In other words, they're putting their money where their mouth is,
yes. No,
backing their
LDV has done
products.
their research, and they've done quite comprehensive testing. We've been working with LDV for a while now, and they've been testing these cars locally well in advance of introducing them. For LDV, South Africa is very important for LDV because they also see it as an expansion into Africa. And SAIC Motor, who is the owner of LDV, the LDV brand, is the largest Chinese manufacturer and the 8th largest vehicle manufacturer in the world. So,
and SAIC is Shanghai Automotive.
Indeed, yeah. Well, they've now kind of just condensed the name and uses it as such. But if you remember the old MG, that's now been reborn as an electric brand that is part of the SAIC Motor group. They bought Rover, they bought LDV, and then they've got brands like IM Motor, which will be the donor car for the next Audi electric vehicles. For instance.
Okay,
So
yeah.
SAIC is a major player, one of the biggest in the world, as I said. And for them, Africa is very important. So from here, they'll expand to the rest of the continent.
Wow. Okay. Now, last thing you haven't told us: prices.
So pricing, let me take you through the
right.
various
Okay.
models.
Let's start at the top. How's that?
Yeah, let's start at the top. So this is the absolute top specification model, and you can see here that's for just under 800,000, 790,000.
Okay.
The next one down, we see we've got a customer here.
Look at this. Customers buying them already, eh?
This is the T60 Plus. There's two Max versions, the Max Lux and the Max Pro. And this is the Pro version. And this one comes in at 710,000 Rand. So a few less specifications, but still the same powerful engine, still four-wheel drive, still 8-speed automatic. Sorry, if you have a look at the mid-range models,
Yeah.
you'll see that you can get these in 4x4 or 4x2. Slightly different grills, slightly different lights. Grills the same size, but slightly different treatment and bigger lights. And that comes in at 610 for the manual and 640 for the auto, both 4x4 as I mentioned.
Okay. And then we move down.
There's two models here basically. You've got the base model starting at 480, going up all the way to 560 for a four-wheel drive version. And
Okay.
here again you get 4x2, 4x4, manual and automatic. These
Wow.
models have a 6-speed automatic transmission, as does this one. And then the big boys there have an 8-speed
8-speed.
ZF transmission.
Right. Okay. So there's a choice for everybody.
Indeed,
There's a
yes.
very wide range, which is amazing as well.
And
For
locally tested, yes.
480 to 790, basically that's the range. Very, very interesting. Leo,
Thank you, Alan. Good to see you.
hang on. For MotorMatters, Change Cars, and all things motoring, for today, he's Leo Koch. I'm Alan R. See you next time.
Hello, my name is Michael. I'm the owner of CHANGECARS and the host of the TV show All Things Motoring. I have one mission, and that is to make a difference to the motoring public. Making a difference how? Making sure that you have safe options, making sure that you have knowledge. In that regard, it is my absolute pleasure and privilege to work with Alan Rosenmeyer of MotorMatters. The man with a hat, I'm the man with no hat, he's the man with the knowledge. Thank you for watching.
Right, Lawrence from Ride and Drive, here with Alan from MotorMatters.
Yeah,
Ro, what are we in today, Al?
yeah, we're in something called an LDV, Bakkie.
Yeah,
Old days, LDV stood for light delivery vehicle. That's what Bakkies were known as.
yeah, and now it's a Chinese manufacturer that's one of the many that has graced our shores.
Absolutely, and they're coming in with a bit of a bang, I'd say. And they brought in this range of Bakkies, the T60, eh? It's called the
Yeah,
T60.
T60, yeah.
Yeah. Now, interesting. It's quite a big range. Two engine specs and obviously interior spec levels.
Yeah.
All double cabs. So we're in the lower powered version.
120 kilowatts, yeah?
Yeah. A 2-litre single turbo diesel, 120 kilowatts, 370 Newton. 8-speed auto, nice and smooth.
Yeah, it's nice and smooth.
Yeah. The ride is a bit jiggly, eh?
It is a bit jiggly, and Harry's in the back here with us as a passenger.
Harry, what's it
and,
like in the back seat, sir?
Yeah, it's not the smoothest ride,
Yeah.
but there's plenty of leg room.
Yeah.
Although I am sitting behind two very short people.
Yeah, but you 6-something,
Yeah.
6 foot.
Yeah.
And I mean,
No, but
that's
there's plenty of leg room.
because I've seen some of these Bakkies that have got very little room at the back, so that's a good environment.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So, look, they're coming in price-wise from 480 to 710, depending on which version you're in. So I think that's pretty fair.
Yeah, so I would say that they're probably competing with something like the Jack.
Absolutely head-on with the Jack.
Yeah.
With what else would there be? It would be the GWM Steeds, not the P Series.
Yes.
And there are a few others around, but it's at that section of the market, shall we call it.
Well, I must say the styling is pretty good. We also
Yeah.
looked at the SUV, and I mean, their styling is pretty nice.
Absolutely. Well, you're going to see a bit more. We'll show you a bit more. And I have been doing my on the knees begging, but to get a test car as soon as possible.